What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports and you're watching our SEC football channel. We're going to give you our LSU predictions here in this video, and we're going to compare our predictions, the NCAA football simulations that we did. Both of those you can find over on our main channel. Also, we'll show you what the FBI thinks about LSU, Athlon Sports, a magazine as well, and then Las Vegas. What do they think about this LSU team and their win total for the upcoming season? There's a lot of hype around this LSU team. I think they're going to be really good this year, and we'll see what happens. So here's our 5 sources. Again, our predictions. You can find those on the main channel. Our NCAA football simulation, which you can also find over on the main channel. Athlon Sports, the FBI, and the Vegas win total. So our prediction for LSU was 10-2. I was close to putting 11-1 for this team. I think they have a legitimate chance to do that. I don't really see them beating Alabama. But it was a risky pick for me to put them at 11-1 when you have Texas on the road on the schedule, when you have Texas A&M on there, Florida, Auburn. I mean, there are so many games that are going to be tough on the road at Mississippi State. So many games that are going to be tough for this team to where I just think it's going to be tough for any team to go through that schedule, again, outside of the Alabama game, and win the rest of those games. It's very hard to do. I think someone will trip them up. So I've got LSU going 10-2. That should be enough to get to, a New Year's Six bowl, but not quite enough to get to the college football playoffs, more than likely. So that's our prediction for LSU. Again, you can see much more details on that and why I picked them to go 10-2 in each game over on the main channel, where we did every single Power 5 team. But what about our NCAA football simulation? Well, they're a little bit more optimistic about LSU. They had them at 11-1. The one loss coming to Alabama, so no surprise there as far as who they lost to. But yeah, they looked pretty solid in that simulation. The offense, I think, looked like what most LSU fans are hoping to see this year. They were pretty explosive on that side of the ball. Joe Burrow had a lot of runs on that simulation. If you go back and watch that again, you can find that over on our main channel. But yeah, they looked pretty impressive. Again, it's just a video game, but some of our simulations in the past have been very, very accurate, and we'll see if that proves to be true here. But yes, LSU at 11-1. That would probably be enough to get to the college football playoffs. I mean, it really would if that one loss was a close loss to Alabama, and assuming Alabama goes undefeated, wins the SEC. Yeah, LSU, they have a path to get to the playoffs without winning the SEC. Athlon Sports, well, they agree with me. They have this team at 10-2. They don't have game-by-game predictions. They don't go through each and every game. They just give you an overall record. So I don't know exactly who they would have them losing to. But again, I think they probably thought, kind of like I'm thinking, they're probably not going to beat Alabama on the road. That game is just going to be too tough. And then when you look through the rest of the schedule, there are just a lot of games that could trip them up. And even getting to 10-2, even if this team is really good, even if they're the 5th best team in the country, let's just say, 10-2 would still be pretty tough to do when you look at that schedule and the games that could potentially trip them up. So I think that's a pretty fair prediction. Again, that's what we went with, 10-2. If you play the odds and you look at each of these games, 10-2 is probably, like I said, a little bit optimistic. But I am pretty optimistic about this LSU team. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if they go 11-1. What about the FBI? The FBI has them at 10-2. It's really, they're like at 9.5 and 2.5 if you look at the record. But we rounded it up to 10-2 because if you go through each individual game, the FBI does have them favored in every single game except for Alabama. So just like what happened in our NCAA football simulation, if you go game by game and you went with the FBI, LSU would be 11-1. But they play the odds. They average all those games out, 10,000 simulations to be exact. And when you do that, the FBI comes out with a 10-2 record, or maybe even 9-3. It's really right in the middle of those two numbers. So either way, 9-3, 10-2, something like that for this LSU team. And as you see here, every prediction, every source that we have has LSU having a really good year. And it's either 10 or 11 wins. But Las Vegas, not sold on this LSU team, as they have their win total at 9. They have their win total at 9. So maybe you could take the over on that. And if they get to 10 wins, you could win some money. I mean, they're not. I would be very surprised if this team went 8-4. You know, 9-3 would be a push. So you wouldn't really be risking too much. And I'm not condoning betting. I'm not trying to tell you to do that. I don't bet myself. I'm just saying, looking at these numbers, I think more than likely they're going to get to 10-2 or at least 9-3. So I would be very surprised if they're 8-4 or lower than that. And again, it's very interesting that Las Vegas has them at 9. Vegas is right a lot of times, so maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe it's the schedule. Whatever the case may be, they have their win total at 9, where our other sources have them at least with 10 wins. Again, our NCAA football simulation had them at 11-1. So an interesting look here at different sources, different predictions here for the LSU Tigers. I want to know your prediction. Let me know down in the comments below what you think the Tigers' record will be in 2019. That's going to do it for this video, but stay tuned for more here on our SEC Football channel.